from the digital, from the single player open world gaming world to everything he's doing now.
Yeah.
I'm new to this language, have you noticed?
Yeah, I can tell.
Right. Can you give us the big intro? Thanks.
Our next guest is the brilliant brain behind the greatest games of all time, and now he's putting down the controller and picking up a pen. His debut novel, A Better Paradise Volume 1, An Aftermath, is out now, so please welcome the oh-so-wowzer, it's Dan Houser!
All right, Dan.
Thank you.
Welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing okay. Thank you for having me.
Oh, my gosh. For people like me who may as well have landed from another planet yesterday, before I dived into your life, give us the headlines of the last 30 years, 40 years of your life.
I was born in London.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I wanted to do when I left university. I stumbled into doing video games. It wasn't that interesting until about 2001, and then it suddenly became very interesting. I was working with very smart people, and we were doing stuff nobody ever done before, and it was a kind of fascinating time. That was at a company called Rockstar, which I helped to found. I stayed there till 2019, working on games Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption, and now I'm doing a new company called Absurd Ventures, and one of the projects we're working on is a large world called A Better Paradise, and this is a novel set in that world.
So you've gone for the book first this time, and the games are coming.
Yeah, in
next.
a few years' time.
Right, because it's always been about writing stories, hasn't it? Of course it has.
Yes, and the games were so big that someone pointed out to me, and I realised after they were correct, this observant journalist I once spoke to, French guy, and he said, you know, they really are like novels. And I'd always thought they were like sort of messed up films. And then I realised he was correct. They were just like these big spread out novels.
And you're a huge fan of literature. You're a huge fan of cinema.
Try to be.
Yeah, you have. I've heard you talking about the films you like and the books you like. So obviously you grew around books and great writers. You love cinema. You've got your top 10 films. Everybody knows those. And then you start. Were you gaming before you started coding for games and writing games?
Oh, I can't code.
You can't code.
Clever people do that.
All right.
No, I was always on the back of much cleverer people than me. I was playing them a bit. And on and off, but I find them really interesting to think about how they're assembled.
Right. So I didn't know, because I'm stupid, because I've never played Grand Theft Auto, that there's a story to it and there are characters in it and it can make you cry, even the narrative.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it certainly had characters and some. I mean, that was more of a sort of black comedy with some emotions in it. And then the other big game I worked on there, Red Dead Redemption, was maybe more of a tragedy. So that was probably more something people would cry about. But yeah, tried to make them feel like that.
And the basement that I hear about in Chelsea, you and your mate. Pizzas, one pizza because all you could afford. You had the anchovies on half of it, and you had Diet Coke as well going on down there. And I hear you were writing for radio.
We had radio. This was in Chelsea in New York,
right.
And it was a very big pizza.
Okay.
We were impoverished, but we weren't that impoverished. The company didn't have a lot of money, and it had a lot of debt, but we weren't quite that. It wasn't quite that Dickensian.
What was the radio writing bit about?
Well, in the game there were radio stations.
Yeah, I heard about that.
So you get into the car and it would play different radio stations.
Right, so that was it.
And so we were doing essentially your job.
Yeah.
You know, coming up with both the DJs, the jingles,
right.
fake ads, fake talk DJs, and wrapping the music around them.
And doing things like, is it true that you and your writing mates, your creative mates at Rockstar, you gave... were they non-player characters, non-playing characters, NPC?
Thousands of them.
NPC. Did you invent that?
No,
okay.
But we were one of the first to have that many people speak.
Right, so you gave them a voice, didn't you?
We'd have big characters that were like big named characters, and then hundreds of these background characters.
Right, and so, for example, your pedestrians would start to speak, saying two or three lines each, and you need different voices for them, and this is before AI, so how did you get the different voices?
Well, when we had no money, we would... go and beg on the street. No, we would go and ask friends to come in, and this was probably not allowed under old union terms. Eventually now we just used actors. You just write the lines of script. The scripts got bigger and bigger for each character. So you'd be writing 20 to 50 page script for 400 different characters, and then all get casted and recorded, and it's a huge, massive process.
So was it Rockstar Games?
Yes.
So Rockstar Games in New York, which you helped to co-found. So when you said when we had no money, right? Clearly, then you did get some money.
Yes.
And I remember talking to Noel Gallagher about this when their first album came out. He said, in the morning we had no money. This one particular day, the album was out. They'd been on top of the pops. Blah 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 blah. We'd played their records on the radio, and then he said we had no money. And I remember him being on the radio with me the day that the album went to number one. For the first album went to number one for the first time ever. And we phoned him up, and he was on the phone, and Meg was in the background, and he was in his basement flat in Camden. And he said that day, the record company phoned him up and said, we have a check here for you for £1 million, right? So it was literally no money to £1 million. And then later that day, they said, we've got another check for another £1 million because you just sold some more records. So when you said you had no money, when did some money come into it? And what was it a lorry load of cash being backed up to the back door?
For me personally, or for the company?
For Rockstar?
Sort of. It was similar. It was similar in some ways.
Great.
The company was owned by another company called Take-Two. We were a division of Take-Two. Take-Two was $100 million in debt. So we were making this game that we thought was going to be great, called Grand Theft Auto 3, and we were making it on a shoestring. And it was going to be, we thought it was very, very innovative, and it could be amazing. It didn't have a lot of excitement before it came out. The company was doing so badly, it got delisted from the stock market. And then 9/11 happened. We were in New York, just about a mile away from it. We had to make a couple of changes because a couple of things could have seemed slightly offensive in a sort of post 9/11 world. The game was due to come out then. It came out about 2 weeks later. I came to London for a couple of weeks on personal business around then, and by the time I came back, we were successful. The company was out of debt, and it was we hadn't made enough copies of the game. We couldn't make it fast enough because we were selling like 50,000 a day at various points.
So what was the biggest week of sales approximately? 500,000, something like that.
It sort of grew and grew and grew through that fall of autumn of 2001 into 2002, and it just never stopped.
And very similar to selling albums at the time, wasn't it? Because it was units.
Yeah, still care about units because it's a good metric.
Right.
Games have cost probably 4 times as much as an album, but so that's in some ways it's not a fair comparison. But fundamentally, you look at it as, well, that's a copy we sold, and that's a metric we can go on, and that's a sort of unit of value. And we went from things selling 1 million to that game sold about 13 million to the last one sold about 200 million.
You talk about your addictive personality and your addictive true nature, not dissimilar to mine. Did you become addicted to those numbers?
A little bit. Yeah, it's really captivating. Because you get obsessed by the tail moving down too quickly.
Right.
You want things to keep selling.
Right.
The game's got so big, and you want people to love them the way with the passion you put into them. So of course you care about it. But I tried not to obsess about it too much because you just try and make something good and hope it does well.
What a great name for a company, Rockstar Games New York. I mean, come on, it's all in there, isn't it?
Well, that was all my brother's idea, and it was a great idea.
That's fantastic. Rockstar Games New York. And you say about that time that you were Rockstar Games was always in trouble, always causing trouble. Were you disrupting, or was it just the way you were going about your business?
I think we were a video game company in New York. All the rest of the video game companies were either in Guildford or they were in San Francisco.
Right.
And so we were in New York. We were mostly English. We were younger than a lot of the other companies. We didn't have the corporate oversight of our parent company was not very responsible. They were always getting in trouble for financial impropriety, so we could kind of do what we want.
Right.
And then it was this industry that we were saying had been for children, and now we were saying it was for adolescents and grown men as well as for children, but we were not servicing the children market, and that seemed to us not that outrageous, but some people thought it incredibly offensive.
And there's that lovely phrase in there, success solves all problems. And it doesn't really, but it sort of does. In as much as people don't get on your case.
No, that was not our experience at all. Our experience was success created loads of problems. It was just worth it to have fun and do what you want to do.
What kind of problems did success create?
Well, it brought the US government down on us. They decided we were the only people on the internet peddling pornography, apparently, which was ridiculous, and they nearly shut us down. Had a huge, we got fined a huge amount of money, and it was a very disruptive to the company, and some of my team members quit, and it was really tough.
Why were they after you?
I think they claimed for sort of matters of public decency, but our discovery was they wanted a media bogeyman, and they decided they couldn't go after, and it was mostly led by sort of centrist Democrats, and they wanted a media bogeyman. They couldn't go after Hollywood because they were getting a lot of money out of Hollywood, and they couldn't go after rap music because that had funky racial connotations. So go after video games. So we were an easy bogeyman and didn't understand the system.
So a bogeyman, somebody to point out saying, look, we've got all these real problems. We
finally figured out the problems in America. It's these idiots.
Yeah,
and
so they could carry on not getting things right.
Yeah, because obviously,
Wow, I didn't know any of that.
Well, I didn't know until I was on the wrong end of it, and we were on the wrong end of it, and it was extremely worrying.
But we all fell foul of it, or we all fell for it, if you like, because I said it on the show in the first hour this morning. Do you remember the time when we all said, "Oh God, I wish our kids would get off video games," and now most parents would give their high teeth to get their kids off social media back onto video games. And by the way, when I didn't know that your video games were these stories and these adventures in these worlds, I didn't know any of that because I'm an idiot. I mean, do you get that now? Do you get a sense of the fact that parents were like, "Oh God, sorry, be careful what you wish for"? Kids all get back on that bus.
Well, I don't think your 10-year-old should be playing Grand Theft Auto, but I think you can make video games for appropriate audiences. I think they probably cause... I think anything done to massive excess is not going to be good for you. Yeah. I tend to think social media is going to make you far more unhappy than anything else we've invented yet, because it's designed to make you unhappy.
And because there are the online gaming companies now, and you've said it, haven't you, recently, with the brilliant Lex Friedman, you have said, I don't really do that. We and this is where I came with this phrase I'm really proud of remembering, single player open world. What does that mean, what I've just said?
Oh, it means open world is a video game that we pioneered that I really like, which is it was like a world you can explore, and you kind of find the story in the world.
And there are already things going on other than what you do.
It's a whole world that's simulated, and you can go and interact with it, and things happen.
Right, and things are already happening. Yes, if you were walking down the street, you might be walking down the street, but other people are doing things in that street.
Exactly, and cars are going around, and so you might see someone else commit a crime, or reading the newspaper, or listening to the radio, kinds of things. What's
the most fun situation you've ever come up with over the years? What's the most fun sort of character of an open world environment?
Well, I like the weird things that people discover. So we would try and make the world feel very natural as you could do with whatever the technology was, and then have something really surreal tucked away in a corner. Yeah. So like an alien landing or something ridiculous like that. But it's only funny if you're not expecting it after you've been in this very normal world before that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Love the rock and roll, love the punk aspect of the way you are, your demeanour, everything. Dan Houser's written this book. It's called A Better Paradise. I started reading it yesterday. I am so stupid. I'm more stupid than even I ever thought I would confess to be. I thought this was going to be a self-help book. I thought you just realised, because I didn't know it was a novel. So then I sit down and start reading, it's a novel. Oh my God, it's really good. And it is really, really good. Set in the near future, set in 2041. We wake up, or Kurt wakes up, we're in Asia with him. What's happened 5 years ago? What has he fled from in 2036?
He was working in a video game company that was run by a sort of pseudo-messianic tech bro guy who wanted to help people. He thought he could use gaming, use some kind of metaverse to save people from all of this internet pollution. And so they were going to use very advanced AI to do this. And unfortunately, or fortunately, their AI they created became more sentient than they hoped. And the AI was built by two engineers who don't like each other. So the AI is riddled with self-loathing.
Yeah, and the voice through which the characters and the story is written, obviously it's your voice. And you're talking about 2046, and I'm thinking, is this what Dan thinks might happen? Is this what is happening? You talk about in the first couple of chapters the initial AI revolution not happening, not stacking up too much. Then there's another one that's not great. Is that what if you had to predict things? Is that where we are?
Yeah, I would never have thought I was that kind of good at predicting the future. If anything, it should be set nearer to today. I think
it's going to happen faster.
I think things are happening slightly faster. Some of the stuff I put in a lot of stuff about drones and robots. and thinking that was quite future looking, and that's actually happening already.
Yeah. So, and when did you write the story?
I wrote the story 2 years ago.
So in that 2 years, so much has happened.
Yeah, and we were planning it for sort of 2 years before that, and building out the sort of backstory to the world. And that was really before AI. It was before ChatGPT launched. It's before obviously thinking about AI, but it was before AI was such an obsession. It was really when everyone was talking about that word, the metaverse, which has now gone away. So
it's gone away. I mean, it's still you can still hear it echoing, I suppose.
Yep.
And another one, box number 3, tick. I am stupid. I just thought you'd be American. I just thought you were an American guy.
No,
I know.
grew up in East Sheen.
Yeah, I just thought you'd be part of the Silicon Valley massive. Obviously, you've inhabited that world. You know what's going on. And you say maybe you can't predict the future and it's already quicker than you thought, but you will be able to recognise patterns because you've lived amongst those patterns. Is that what you're drawing from?
Yeah, I think you can see where things are going if you look, where they might go if things don't get better.
Right.
Is how that was what it was. It was meant to be a sort of cautionary tale, and you'll go, this is not pleasant, and we're heading in lots of areas in unpleasant ways. I'm not a complete pessimist, but this is a slightly pessimistic version of it. Things in the next volumes turn less pessimistic.
All right. Who is Nigel Dave? Who or what is Nigel Dave? That's one word, by the way. Mm-hmm. And who is Adam?
Nigel Dave is the super AI they accidentally made, and Adam is what they were planning to make, who was the sort of AI they thought they could control to do their bidding. And so they accidentally made this highly sentient thing, God creature, Nigel Dave, that only lives online, who is infinitely intelligent, but has absolutely zero wisdom or experience. So he can learn everything, he can read all of the internet, but he can watch the world through smartphone cameras, but he can't live in our world. So he's kind of obsessed by human beings, wants all of these human experiences, watches human beings obsessively, but can't be human.
And which is exactly the point that we're all in the centre of whatever storm it is, good or bad, that we're witnessing at the moment. Because obviously their AI is a big harvest. It's a big combine harvester, isn't it?
Of money.
Yeah, of money and of information or whatever it is. Yeah. But can you ever put the human in there? Can you ever put whatever that is, the X factor in there, the spirit? They say that we're human beings having a spiritual time, or we're spirits having a human time. And if we're spirits, you can't catch that because it's going to disappear every time you try and grab it. Is that sort of a flavour of your point?
Absolutely. I mean, I hope so. You put it better than I did, but it's beautiful. We're trying to. It's also some of these people trying to define the future of humanity, creativity, or whatever it is using AI are not the most humane or creative people. So they're sort of saying we're better at being human than you are, and it's obviously not true. So that is one of the other things we're trying to capture, is that it's humanity is being pulled in a direction by a certain group of people who maybe aren't fully rounded humans.
Yeah, and they will run out of road because they'll run out of breath because they will expire one day as human beings. So is this they say history doesn't repeat itself, but human beings do. Is this just the next wave of that? And are you therefore saying, by the way, I'm not trying to pin you down to anything, I don't really care. Are you saying that this wave of AI is just nowhere near going to end up how people want us to think it might?
As far as I understand it, I personally don't think it will. Because I think the AI is going to eventually eat itself.
Right.
Because as far as I understand it, which is really superficial understanding, the models scour the internet for information, but the internet's going to get more and more full of information made by the models. So it's sort of like when we fed cows with cows and got mad cow disease.
Yeah.
I can't see how
information disease.
I can't see how the information will get better if there's not. They're already running out of data.
Yeah.
So I'm sort of. It will do some task brilliantly, but it's not going to do every task brilliantly.
So algorithms will become saturated by the definition of how
themselves.
they are sourced and how they are therefore constructed.
Yes, and it's going to become this sort of mirror of itself.
Why am I feeling so much more optimistic right now? I mean, I am optimistic anyway, but it's funny, isn't it? Because I do use AI a lot now. I used it to do with cars yesterday and in various parts of the country. So it does work, but as long as... If we all realise that it's our servant and we continue to be the master, it gets put back in its box very quickly, doesn't it?
Well, I think if you're using it to do really specific tasks, it can give you some information really quickly.
Yeah.
What's interesting, I'm slightly obsessed by the fact that when you search for the same thing again, it doesn't give you the same answers.
No, I know. If you
and
change
it's sort
one
of
word.
random, and it's wrong a lot of the time, but it says it so confidently. So
Loads of fans of yours. AJ, Chris, you need to be a DJ on Grand Theft Auto 6 or Grand Theft Auto 7. Are they, by the way, ignore the first bit, are they on the way? Are they ever going to come 6 and 7?
I don't work there anymore, but I would,
7.
I would assume so. I've been working it for a long time.
Okay, your son is a big fan, a big gaming fan.
My son is a big gamer.
Yeah,
but
big gamer.
Not games I make.
Okay.
He likes to play other kinds of games.
Okay, because they do say if you've got an uncle who plays the guitar, you might end up playing the guitar. If you've got a dad who does what you do, you might end up sort of enjoying the kind of things he does, not necessarily specifically the things. Does that come from... Do you have a big gaming console? Give us a bit of your life. Give us a bit of an insight.
He's a teenage boy. They all game.
Yeah.
He's
But does Dad got a gaming den as opposed to like a
a TV like normal
Your
people.
TV.
Yeah. It's very, very normal.
And what's your console? Are you allowed to endorse? Because if you endorse a
All of
console...
them.
Really?
Well, sometimes, and they're always plugged in.
So it's not...
We're not super hardcore. I'm certainly not.
So what have you got? Tell me what's in front of you.
In front of me at home?
Yeah.
At the moment, I think just a Wii. I don't think anything. I don't think a PlayStation. He has the PlayStation.
Yeah.
And he has a gaming PC.
Uh-huh.
That's too technical for me.
Yep.
And I think that's it right now.
You talk
We're between houses. We're out of our normal house. We're still not there because of the fires in the Palisades.
Palisades, is
So
that
we're
where you
living in
live?
a rented house
Oh my goodness
somewhere else.
me.
We're moving back soon, so we're lucky.
I was there a few months after the fires, and they'd already started to rebuild, and it's horrible, and it was a disaster. Of course it was, and our hearts go out to everybody who was affected by it, and some people who didn't survive it. The thing is about disasters like COVID and like 9/11 as well that you talked about. They are these unbelievable, unwelcome but golden opportunities to see human beings at their best. Where are we with Palisades being rebuilt now? What's going on? What is going to be new that wasn't there before?
Well, I'm hoping they'll have some water this time. I don't know. It's the community is strong there, and there's a great deal of sort of community spirit that's really inspiring, and a great deal of frustration with the local government that's uninspiring. And that's sort of basically living in Los Angeles. Everyone finds the government there very frustrating.
And the kids had to go to different schools and all that?
Two of my kids went to one school. That school's fine. My youngest, her school burnt down. So she's at another school now.
Was that the famous Palisades High School?
No, she was at a small school that was on the street that the fire started.
Right.
So they got very quickly evacuated.
When do you think you're going to be back?
A few weeks.
Yeah.
Just finally.
All right, good luck to you, man.
Thank you.
Catherine says, love listening to this. My daughters are obsessed with your games. Please never stop. You're not going to stop, are you?
I mean, my wife would like me to stop at some point, but not yet. I'm too young to retire.
Yeah, but also you love working. I've heard you actually say the phrase, I love working.
It's a privilege to do. I mean, I love working on fun. I don't love doing anything real or difficult.
Yeah.
This is really fun. It's a real privilege.
And you say you got your work ethic from your dad. Your dad sadly passed away this year. What a great combo, lawyer and jazz musician.
Yeah, he enjoyed himself. He kept playing jazz till he was, I think, north of 85.
Wow.
And his mother played till she was 88.
Wow.
And she'd played the piano in silent movies when she was 6.
Yeah.
So it was, they were good working class musicians.
He's got his own built-in yin and yang there, hasn't he?
Yeah.
Law and jazz. That is the day and the night.
Oh, he loved it. He loved that aspect of it.
The sun and the moon. I love it. And I bet one fed it, they're mutually beneficial. Mandy P says, just as you chatting and discussing Grand Theft Auto, we took our son to New York when he was 16 and we were up the Empire State Building and his exact words were, as he was taking in the sights, this is exactly like Grand Theft Auto. It was mapped perfectly. Have a good one.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, people used to say that to me about another game we did set in Miami, and it was this idea that we were exploring kind of digital tourism.
Right.
That you could actually build somewhere that felt so real that it was almost more real than reality.
Yeah.
And it was just fun to be somewhere fake.
And what about Roblox and companies like that? The metaverse and...
Well, my youngest plays a lot of Roblox, and we find it slightly nerve-wracking to do with some of the parental supervision on that. But I'm not entirely sure, but I'm not in the weeds on it enough.
Okay.
But it's clever what they do.
People want to thank you here because they got you through. You got them through lockdown via your games, Grand Theft Auto 5 mostly, from the lads I've talked to, along with them having a Negroni So console in one hand, Negroni in another, rum and coke in another.
There are 3 hands.
Yeah, it all seems to go very well. No, it's different people, you know.
It's not a bad way to live.
No, not a bad way to live.
months.
And also, I was talking about more fans, Empire State Building, people that are working here, rum and coke, Negroni. Comic Con is the thing, and you love Comic Con. And I heard you talking to Lex Friedman about this. So if you're enjoying Dan, listen to Lex Friedman's podcast. We've done on it very recently. And he was great. He's great anyway. And he said the thing about Comic Con is you don't get it until you go, and then you realise, oh, these are people just having a joyful time, celebrating the things they love. There's no angst, there's no anxiety, there's no hatred, there's no envy in this room or in this wherever the conference centre is. Did you find similar?
It's very, very low stress. A very low stress environment. People are very optimistic, I think, in that way. Yeah. It's compared to other kind of trade shows or media events. I would agree with that. It's much more upbeat.
Lots of fancy dress. Lots of people.
Lots of people. The one I did the one in Los Angeles, which isn't the big one. The big one is the San Diego one,
right?
Which other people I worked with did that one.
Were you nervous? Were you fearful?
I was talking live on a stage, so it was pretty. And I haven't, that's pretty nerve-wracking.
You liked it more than you thought you would.
It was the guy I spoke with. It was lovely, and the people I met were super sweet. So it's fine. Yeah, it was really.
Would you do the big one?
Would I do the big one? We nearly did. It just didn't work out time-wise.
Right.
And then we work with them all the time. It was the LA one is still quite sweet though because it's less corporate, so it's lots of people in fancy dress and selling little bits and pieces. It's very nice.
Love it. So back to the book, A Better Paradise, Volume 1 and Aftermath. So Volume 1 obviously suggests further volumes, and the game is on the way. How far down the road is the game?
About a quarter to a third into making it.
What does that mean?
We did a lot of early work with a very, very, very small team, and then we've had a slightly bigger team on it that we've assembled in California in our office there for the last 18 months or so, and it will take us about another 4 years, not quite sure.
And the book flies, man. It flies. How many drafts?
Not a major rewrite, but tons and tons of tweaks.
It's tight, though.
Yeah, tons of tweaks. And I had a good guy helping me edit it properly, Adam Strange, who was fantastic, who just really points out when you've written gibberish here.
Yeah. You wanted to be a writer, and now you are. How does it feel, my friend?
It's great to do something new. It's great. It's great to do something new, and anyone at all like it. And also, I really like making things and finishing them. Yeah. So just, finishing the games or finishing a book, it's always just fun to get something finished.
Good for you. Will there be movies at all, or are you...
We're looking at it a little bit, but because the game is very beautiful looking. And the world is very pretty. So I think it could be a movie or a TV show potentially, but we're still exploring.
Well, it's great. Set in the future, A Better Paradise tells the story of the ill-fated development of an ambitious but addictive video game project that goes very wrong. As the software they developed starts to produce unexpected and disturbing results, the project is shut down and abandoned until now. Dun, dun, dun. It's great. Congratulations.
Thank you for the way you read it.
It's so nice to see you. So
Thank
nice
you
to meet you. Wow. Any advice for anybody who wants to get into what you do for a living, who might be listening now, or their mums and dads might be listening now?
Just be prepared to work hard at the start and show up and just write to companies and try and get an internship.
That's what you say about your dad. He taught you to show up.
Show up, yes.
Yeah. Show up. Yeah, wipe round your mouth, clean your brush your teeth, and show up.
I don't think he cared that much about the teeth brushing.
Yeah.
It's more just show up.
Just show up.
Even with the bad breath, just show up.
All right, mate. Great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
Let's Dan Houser. What an absolute legend. Another legend on the show. Oh, my gosh.